Good morning, listeners.
And morning to you too, Mark. So, the anniversary for Neighbours. You actually went back to it, didn't you, to play Joe Mangel a few years ago?
Oh, if you don't mind, umpire. Yeah, well, it was their 21 years reunion, and I thought it would have been a bit rude not for Joe Mangel not to pop up the way my fans are here. And I thought, well, for the Joe Mangel fans, I thought it was only fair enough. But, oh dear, it was a different place. Joe, he didn't fit in at all.
Yeah, you didn't like it, because I was reading some bits and bobs on the internet, and you weren't happy with the direction Joe Mangel was going in.
No, I wasn't happy. I thought he deserved better than that. And so I didn't hang around. And then it went to Channel 5, and it became something else anyway. So, no, I wasn't happy. I thought Joe, he was a good man with a good heart, and he was a good Australian. But, Australia's changed a lot in the time Joe had been away. So he was much, much happier going back and living in the bush with his cows.
It must be great, though, to this day, though, that still people remember you so fondly. You just mentioned then that it's gone to Channel 5 now, and I don't think Neighbours holds a place in people's hearts as it did back when it was on the BBC, when it had its heyday in the late 80s into the 90s. It seems to, like you just said, now it's another programme. It seems to have been sort of put away, which is a real shame, because, you were on it when it was at its peak. It must have been amazing.
I was in it for a year or two before it kicked off in England.
Yeah.
So I was just in this daggy little show that, a couple of Australians were watching, and the dog. Not many people were watching it. And then all of a sudden there was an explosion, and Britain got onto it.
Were you aware of it while it was all going on?
It was just starting to kick off when Kylie left, and I came in. They were worried it wasn't going to be around anymore when Kylie and Jason left. So in came, there was a new era, the Mangel era. and Mrs. Mangel, his son popped up. But no, none of us really knew. And then about a year in, then Ian Smith's coming back, plays Harold.
Yeah.
He's saying, I'm doing these things called pantomimes in England. I said, well, what do you do there? I said, I don't know, you wear a pair of stockings and run around and go, it's behind you. And I said, what's that about? And so they're mental for it in England. Then I had scriptwriters saying, look, the English are really onto this. You can't be talking about thongs and utes and chooks and they don't know what you're talking about. I said, well, they'll learn, which inspired me to actually put more and more Australian lingo in, actually.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. But I get, the 20-somethings that come up to me and say, oh, I remember you. I say, how old were you 18 years ago when Joe Mangel was on the telly? And they say, oh, I was 6. And you still remember Joe Mangel? Yeah, oh yeah.
But he's one of them great characters as well, Mark. And I think with you is because you've always been around, and you relocated over to the UK, didn't you? It's Brighton that you live now.
Yeah. I'm a Brit now. I've lived here 19 years now.
And one thing, I've got so much respect for you, Mark. You're one of the only ones who didn't come over here and launch a singing career.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. And I'll be able to look my grandchildren in the eye and say, I didn't do that.
Were you offered it, though?
I had a couple of ideas. I had this great idea for me and the dog, Bouncer.
Yeah, Bouncer. I forgot about Bouncer.
Remember Bouncer? I had this great
yeah.
Labradors with Attitude, it was called. Get down, Bouncer, Bouncer, get down. But Bouncer died, unfortunately.
Just before the record was to be made.
Just before the release. And it was like, I can't put this out with a fake Bouncer. There'll be a furore. I imagine I'll be on the front page of The Sun. Mangel uses different dogs.
Yeah. Mangel and fake Bouncer
mate.
Scandal.
the fake Bouncer scandal. So, no, I never did get into the recording studio. I had a couple of ideas, but I thought, no, that's churlish. That's not what I do.